Hey, what's going on, Agents for Life? Welcome to podcast 211. And today we're going to be talking about your first 90 days in the business. So if you're a brand new agent, you're just getting going, or if you feel like you need to hit that reset button and just restart, like let's go back to the basics. The reason why I'm going into this topic is because I've got a lot of growth, which is a good problem to have, but a lot of new agents, a lot of you know who you are, all the new agents coming on board. I just want to be clear on what those first 3 months look like for you, how to get yourself set up for the most odds of success. As we know, there's no guarantees in our business. We're entrepreneurs. We live eating what we kill, right? But if you do this right, you put yourself in a position to win. If you do it wrong, you take an already difficult business and entering entrepreneurship, very difficult for a lot of people. You take that and make it even harder for yourself. And we don't want that, right? We want to be profitable. We want to have long businesses. We want to help protect a lot of families. And this is what today's podcast is going to be all about, what that really takes and how to get yourself started in the best first 90 days, the best solid foundation that you can get. So before I jump in though, quick lesson. Well, I don't know if it's a lesson from the field, but Greg Archer said something that I just loved. He says a lot of things I love. Underwriting question. And this one I'm going to start asking, and you should too. Anything the doctor's been trying you out on, or trying you on, or was trying you, or had tried you on, experimental stuff. Doctors try things, right? So when you're asking medications, that usually falls off the radar. So asking that question gets them thinking, oh yeah, he tested me on a couple of things. Those are usually the situations that are those odd medications that nobody talks about, nobody remembers, and it's the reason for the decline. So good question to ask. Secondly, a couple of leadership thoughts before I jump into the topic. So there's just some nuggets that I had grabbed along my week. Obstacles are not the path, they are the path. When I first heard that, I'm like, oh my goodness, is that ever true? Because an obstacle is what is in front of where you're trying to go. That's why it's an obstacle. So they're not there. We don't see them as blockage. Don't see them as they're in the way. See them as this is the path. These are markers, right? When you go on a hike, you see the markers all along the way. Well, obstacles in life, they're just markers on our trail to success. So if you're getting some obstacles, you're on the path. They are the path. Welcome to the path. But we got to overcome them, right? Overcome the obstacles. So you can do hard things. Having a job is a hard thing. I love that because, I think in this business, a lot of times it is tough mentally usually, but I keep going back to, well, would I rather go back to a job? I mean, choose your hard, right? It's going to be hard there, hard here. You got a paycheck. You don't like it. People tell you when to show up. People tell you when to leave. You have no freedom. You don't get to just make more money if you want to make more money. There's a lot of difference. That's hard, right? So picking up the phone and dialing, it's probably a little hard too. Sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes you got to push yourself. Sometimes you get rejection. All right, that's hard, but choose your hard. Which hard would you rather have, right? So thought that was interesting. And then the last thing, focus on the routine, not the outcome. I think you've heard us say that a lot, but the routine, and that's what we're going to talk about here, is what we do every day. The outcome will take care of itself. Stay hyper-focused on your activity. Okay, let's get into the training. Hopefully that gets our muscles warmed up, our mental muscles, and kind of gets us into leadership mode and thinking in the right thoughts. And now your mind is open to receive some training. The first 90 days, if you've been a seasoned agent for a long time, you're probably going to see some of this as a review, but it's good. Like I even get some of this stuff out of it myself when I'm going in and preparing some notes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Reminding us of the basics of this business, because so often we lose track. We get going and we sort of veer off track a little bit, and it's nice to hit that reset button. So this is for everyone, really, but it's especially for any of you getting started. So first 90 days, number one is just flat out hustle. Okay. I can't emphasize that enough. Just flat out hustle. Okay. I'd rather see somebody that has zero skills just making phone calls, running appointments, but just doesn't have a clue on how to do any of it, but just doing it. Nothing replaces activity. Activity is your best experience. Experience is your best teacher. That's what I meant to say. And until you get that experience, you don't get the teaching. So go out and get the experience just by having sheer hustle. Okay. High volume, make a lot of calls, more than you think. Set a lot of appointments, more than you think. Don't stop after setting 1 or 2. 1 or 2 is great. We call that a nice start. Try and get 5 or even 10 on a single day, right? So hustle, hustle, hustle. When you're first starting out, you're packing that little snowball at the top of the hill. It takes a lot of work getting it going. As soon as it hits the side of the hill and you start going down and you get that momentum, your pipeline in this business, the momentum will start carrying you. But when you're starting out, you don't have that. You got to create that. So it's not like this forever. It's temporary, but just hustle. I can't emphasize that enough. Okay. Second thing, if you have nothing to do, if you have on your calendar Equus time, this is our Equus time, you've scheduled an appointment or something that's a no-show, or you don't have it, you have that time blocked off to run appointments, and you come to your desk and there are no appointments. What do? The answer is dial. The answer is always dial. Dial is the default. Okay. That's the activity you're going to go back to if you don't know what else to do. Get good at prospecting, we'll call it, because dialing, texting, emailing, looking people up on social media, what do you call it? I guess creepy stalkers. No, don't be a creepy stalker. But yeah, that's prospecting. And the sooner you get good at that, the sooner you set up the foundation for the rest of your business. Because if you can get good at putting people on your calendar, the rest we can fix just with some activity, some practice. You'll get good at closing. You'll get good at underwriting. But if you can't dial, you don't get the opportunity to get good at any of the rest of it. So that's your default. Dialing is default. That's point number 2. Number 3, communicate with your manager. Okay, I want to hear from you. If I'm your manager, if I'm not your manager, I'll speak on behalf of managers everywhere. We want to hear from our new agents regularly. The biggest mistake new agents make is, I don't want to bother you, or I'm not sure, you're probably really busy, so I don't want to interrupt your day, or whatever. No. I would rather overhear from you than underhear from you. I don't even know if overhear and underhear are words, but hopefully you know what I mean. Every manager is the same way. As soon as I stop hearing from you, I start wondering if you found something else, if you've moved on, if you're not interested anymore, if you're even doing anything. I don't know. I've got a business I'm running. I'm selling every day. I'm in the field, right? So I don't call every agent all the time. I just don't have time for that. So I need you to speak up and check in with me on a regular basis. Now, don't ever think you're bugging, because when we bring you in, we are family. Okay. You need a mentor. I take my position very seriously. I help everybody out that I can, but those who speak up the loudest get the most attention. That's just how it goes. So that's why I have Voxer. So those of you that know me, been through my training, Voxer, right? Okay. If we need to just double check, we're going to brush up. It's that little orange one right at the top. Boom. Voxer. You know what? You give me a little update. Tell me about your day, funny story, a celebration. Voxer all day long. So you don't have to feel like you're interrupting me, right? Other managers. So it kind of separates it out. If you're on an appointment, don't Voxer. I want a text or a call, and I'll pick up or text back as soon as I'm able. So don't hesitate to speak up, especially if you're having a bad day or a bad week. We want to hear from you. We managers and mentors everywhere across the country, I'm the spokesperson. I've heard from all of them, and this is what they're all saying. Please speak up. Okay. Communicate with your manager at first, pretty much daily basis. The only reason why you wouldn't is because you've got nothing going on. So get something going on and then tell us about it a lot. Here we go. The next point, get help before you run the quotes. Okay, I see this mistake a lot on new agents is they think they got it, right? Okay, I got it. And they go right in, they run the appointment, they run the quotes, they hang up the phone, and then they call me. Hey, so let me just tell you about the appointment I just ran. I'm like, ran? That's past tense. Ran? What do you mean ran? You should be running your appointment. You should be calling me on your appointment, not after you've hung up. I can't help you because you've hung up. We can't help close the sale. The prospect's gone. And almost always when you hang up the phone, that's the last they'll ever hear from you, because try and get them back on. Good luck. I don't know what it is. It's just in the air. I don't hold a grudge to anybody. People lead busy lives. They move on. They find other agents, whatever. But a lot of times you can't get back on the phone. So don't hang up until you hear from somebody about underwriting. Okay. Don't run quotes until you hear from your manager. Okay. It's a text. So you fill this form out, you take a picture of it, text it. We check it all out. We text back Forrester Strong Foundation, GPM Classic One, Mutual of Omaha Living Promise, and IUL, Infinite Banking, Debt Elimination. There's all kinds of different answers. We're going to give you some kind of an answer, what they're likely going to qualify for, whatever, but hear from your manager first before you even start running pricing. Okay, very important. Bring us in, let us help you. We're talking back and forth. He's saying this. What should I say? Oh, he now said this. There, or if you can, and if we can, we get on the phone together and just have a conversation with your prospect. If you let us in, again, let us in so we can help you. Okay. Next one. Huge, huge, huge. All of these are like, I can't say this enough because that's why they all made the list, because these are all the essentials you got to do. Show up. Show up. We have team appointments. We call them training, and we have mentoring, coaching. Training's on Mondays, coaching's on Fridays. Okay. If you're on a football team and coach says 3:00 practice at the field, you don't pick and choose your practices, do you? You don't go, coach, I got something else going on, so I'll try and catch the next one. No. What would happen? How long would you be on the team? Well, around here, we don't kick people off the team. Maybe that's too soft, but that's just how we work, But it's to your own benefit. Like, you're not going to get better as a football player not showing up to practice. You're not going to get better as a life insurance agent not showing up to the team calls. Now, some people, and I understand maybe this is too harsh, but if you work and you have like way too much going on and you absolutely, your schedule just absolutely prevents you from getting on. Okay, catch the replay. Got it. But that is not anywhere nearly as valuable as the live version, where you can get in and you can chat a question. You can get on this, raise your hand, get into the spotlight. We'll ask questions with you, answer your concerns, whatever. You cannot get that on the replay. So definitely make it a priority. Put it on your calendar, Mondays, Fridays, 10:00 Eastern. Join the team call and don't miss. Okay, I see. You know what? A tall tale sign is when, as soon as I start seeing agents on my team, I don't track everybody's, but on my team, as soon as I start seeing them not show up on the calls, that's the beginning of the end. And I'm just being real with you. And I don't know if you want to be the first person to say, you know what, I'm going to make this business work without showing up on the team calls. Great. You know what? If you're the first one to do that, awesome. But I haven't seen anybody do it yet. And I'm just being real with you. I don't know what it is, but as soon as people pull out, they drift off, and that's when they start heading different directions. They get discouraged. They stop thinking it's for them. They lose sight of their dream, their why. They go back to a job, whatever. And you know what? More power to them. God bless them. If that's what you want to do, no one's making you stay here. No one is making you be a life insurance agent. But if you want what you came here for, you had a dream, something drove you here. If you truly want that, you got to show up. I mean, you have to make this a priority. You might have to rearrange some things. When I was at work, I used to use my bathroom break to get on the team calls. And I'd go, because the bathroom's in a different, out and around the corner, outside and so forth. And I'd go take the bathroom key, go around the corner and lean up against the wall. And I would listen in on the team call, because that's the best I could do. During work hours, and take long bathroom breaks. Don't tell my boss I did this, but this was 5 years ago, so I'm sure it's okay now. But at the time, I wanted this more than I wanted my job. So my allegiance became to this. not at my job. Now I still had to make the demands and satisfy, my job requirements, but I needed to be a successful life insurance so I could get out of my job. So that's where I put my new emphasis, my mindset, my allegiance, my trust. I was part of a new team and I wasn't going to miss a meeting. It's very, very rare that I miss a meeting. Okay. And I expect and hope the same for each of you, regardless of whether you're on my team. I will just tell you, I don't see anybody making it that doesn't show up to the team calls. Bottom line. So there's something to it. Okay. The last thing is get consistent. Okay. Stay consistent. The roller coaster is I scheduled 10 appointments and I wrote a couple of applications, and then the next week, 0. And then the week after that, I scheduled 5. I'm all excited. I wrote 1 or 2. Yay, made some money. And then the week after that, 0. And the ups and downs will kill you emotionally, financially, the ebb and flow of the business and of your income. You don't want that. Get off the roller coaster and be consistent, not with the results. Remember, I said this earlier, not with the results, with the outcome. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I totally messed that up. Not with the results. Get consistent with your activity. The outcome will take care of itself. So, did you put that together? Focus on your activity. This is the stuff you can control. Dialing and prospecting. That's why it's number 1, because it's right there. You can decide exactly how many people you press those buttons. You pick up your phone and you press those buttons. You can decide exactly how many people you can call in a day. I can't decide who's signing up. I can't decide who's thinking about it. I can't decide who can afford it. I can't decide health conditions for people, but I can decide how many people I call. So focus on the things you can control, and dialing, prospecting, that's right at the top of the list. Okay. So those are my pointers. There's probably more. That's what I could come up with for now. Just hustle. Don't worry about the perfect time. Oh my goodness, right? There is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I've never heard of someday. There's no such thing as someday. We put so much stock in having the circumstances be just right. Well, Christmas is coming up. Well, it's not a great time to start a business. I could look at this and go, December 8th, why would I start dialing now when it's just getting momentum? I got the new year, Christmas. You know what? I'm going to start fresh January 2nd. Here's the danger. Okay, here's the danger. You do that, and you can just as easily find another excuse on January 2nd to start January 15th, to start February. And you will. Human nature. Don't wait. There is no perfect time. You've got something going on. You've got a family party. Relatives are coming in. You've got the holidays. Somebody's birthday is next week. I'm telling you, life will always serve up an obstacle, but the obstacle is the path to success. You have to work in spite of the obstacles. Okay. That's not to say you can't have any kind of balance in life. Of course, you've got church and family. Block them off in your calendar. Be intentional, but doggone, don't put this off. It's not worth it. This is too valuable. Do you understand what this business can do for you and where it can go and what it can do? And you're building wealth for generations, not just yours, but if you do this right, we're talking about generational wealth where your grandkids will be thanking you for starting a business that created so much passive income and so much wealth that they're being affected by it. And they will sing your praises. These are the things that get me excited. So I hope you share the same thing, but it ain't easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So of course it's not going to be easy, but of course it's doable because you have a team. You've got people around you that have done it. You've got people that are doing it, and you're one of us. And there's no reason why you can't do it too. So just want to end on that little nugget of belief for you. If you're struggling in that area, if you don't have enough belief, go on mine because I believe in you. But you know what? Life is made of dreams, and they're not to be dismissed. I think God gives us those because they're special. And I don't think we're supposed to just sweep them under the rug. If you've got something driving you and you're here for that, latch onto that and keep it in your prayers and exercise your faith in it. And let's go after that like you've never hustled before. And you'll be shocked at how fast you can grow. It's the flirting around with it that's going to slow you down. The starting and stopping, the roller coaster, the not taking it so seriously, the waiting for a better day. All those are excuses, and they're just going to get in the way. So sweep them out, get the cobwebs out. If you've had a rough go, hit the reset button inside your head. Once you start building momentum, everything changes. Gets a little easier, right? You don't have to dial as much. All this stuff, the hard work that you do at the first, that's all done at the first. The first phase is the hardest. So once you get past that, it does get easier because you get momentum on your side. Anyways, I'm going to step off my soapbox now, but thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the team. And I look forward to helping every single one of you get to where you want to go. Make sure you're speaking up, follow these tips, and use the first 90 days to really get yourself in a good start at building the foundation of your business. And you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised at where you go and how far you can take this thing. So thanks again. Thank you for listening. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next week. Take care.